Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something really fascinating. We're looking at how the entire world of manufacturing is rapidly evolving. We're moving away from this obsession with pure, cold automation and shifting towards something much more powerful, which is human-centric collaboration.
To really understand why this shift is happening, I want you to picture this. In 2019, a major automotive plant was proudly boasting that it had eliminated 90% of human labor from its assembly line. At the time, it literally looked like the ultimate future of efficiency. But jump forward just 2 years later to the global chip shortage, and that exact same plant completely failed to adapt. Their systems were just entirely rigid. Meanwhile, a competitor that kept more humans on the shop floor, they pivoted their entire production within just a few weeks. That contrast right there is the story of why Industry 4.0 hit a ceiling and exactly why Industry 5.0 exists today.
There's actually this great quote from back in 1997. Leadership expert Warren Bennis joked that the factory of the future would only need a man and a dog. The man's job is to feed the dog, and the dog's job is to keep the man from touching the machines. It's funny, but it perfectly captures the hubris of that lights-out factory mindset. By optimizing everything for pure machined efficiency, we inadvertently starve the shop floor of purpose, creativity, and adaptability.
Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to break this down into 4 parts today. Chapter 1, the automation ceiling. Chapter 2, Enter Industry 5.0, Chapter 3, Human-Centric Technologies. And finally, Chapter 4, Market Impact and Beyond.
Starting with Part 1, the automation ceiling.
Before we can fully grasp Industry 5.0, let's do a super fast timeline of where we've been. In the 1760s, Industry 1.0 gave us mechanical production powered by steam. By the 1870s, Industry 2.0 introduced electricity and the mass assembly line. The 1960s brought us Industry 3.0, which gave us computers and programmable machines. And then, in the 2010s, we entered Industry 4.0, defined by the Internet of Things, cyber-physical systems, and data-driven smart factories. Now, the absolute crucial thing to remember here is that each revolution didn't erase the previous one, it built upon it. And as we'll see, Industry 5.0 follows that exact same pattern.
So what exactly was Industry 4.0 all about? Basically, the core concept was massive automation, using industrial IoT, cloud computing, and AI. It was this golden age of connectivity that brought us advanced robotics, digital twins, and additive manufacturing. And to be fair, it achieved incredible things. We got predictive maintenance, automated quality control, mass customization. We essentially perfected precision. But despite all those massive achievements, this highly rigid system fell short in a few critical areas. First, we hit what MIT research called the autonomy gap, where workers in highly automated environments were totally stripped of their decision-making agency. Second, we saw a massive resilience failure. When the COVID-19 supply chain crisis hit, these hyper-efficient systems simply couldn't improvise. Third, there was a huge sustainability blind spot, because we optimized for pure productivity, often ignoring the environmental impact. And finally, small and medium enterprises were totally excluded, because they lacked the massive capital needed for these complex systems. Basically, we built perfect machines, but we lost our adaptability.
All right, that brings us to Section 2, Enter Industry 5.0. So the European Commission looked at these flaws and defined a new evolution. But remember, the key insight here, Industry 5.0 does not replace Industry 4.0. It extends it with a totally new hierarchy of values based on 3 pillars. First, it's human-centric. Work is designed around human needs, not machine needs, meaning AI copilots augment our judgment instead of replacing it. Second, it's sustainable. So circular economies, renewable energy, and carbon footprint reduction are baked right into the production design. And third, it's resilient. This prioritizes distributed manufacturing and operational flexibility over maximum efficiency. It finally recognizes that human adaptability is an ultimate strategic asset.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the stark contrast when you look at them side by side. In Industry 4.0, the main goal was purely efficiency, right? But in 5.0, that goal shifts to well-being and sustainability. Under 4.0, the human role was something to be minimized. In 5.0, human capability is amplified. And look at the supply chain. We're shifting from a model that was lean, global, and highly fragile to one that is distributed, adaptable, and resilient. Ultimately, in Industry 5.0, the machine actually adapts to the worker, not the other way around.
Moving on to Section 3, Human-Centric Technologies.
If Industry 5.0 has a mascot, it is absolutely the Cobot, or collaborative robot. Unlike those massive, scary traditional robots that had to be locked in safety cages, Cobots are force-limited, they're super easily reprogrammable, and they're specifically designed to physically work right alongside humans safely. And according to data from ID TechX,
The cobot market is seeing tremendous growth, specifically because they support human decision-making. They take over the heavy lifting, literally, so humans can do the complex thinking. And that perfectly illustrates the wider technology stack here. Beyond cobots, we have AI copilots. Forbes actually noted recently that ERP systems are shifting to a human-centric AI copilot model right now. The AI suggests and flags the data, but the human makes the final call. We're also seeing spatial computing, using AR and VR to give real-time guidance directly in a worker's field of view. There's edge AI, making millisecond local decisions to support humans in real time. And even advanced digital twins, which used to only care about machine efficiency, are now being built to model human factors like worker ergonomics, well-being, and circular economy tracking.
Let's ground this in reality for a second to see how it works on the floor. Over at BMW, they're using cobots to handle these really heavy, physically demanding overhead assembly tasks, which frees up their human workers to focus entirely on complex electrical connections. And the result? Greatly reduced injury rates. Bosch is another fantastic example. They're using AI copilots to flag potential quality defects on the line, but a human expert always makes the final judgment call. It absolutely proves that human-machine mutual learning produces significantly better outcomes than either one working alone.
Now, this modular approach is a total game changer for smaller businesses. Simon Ellis from IDC hits the nail on the head here. He points out that mid-market SMEs have fewer resources and shallower pockets, so obviously they have to be really judicious with their investments. But because Industry 5.0 tools are targeted and modular, these smaller companies can adopt them quickly and end up being far nimbler than the massive corporations. It opens up a huge opportunity for them to compete.
Which leads us to our final chapter, Section 4, Market Impact and Beyond.
The data clearly shows this shift is already heavily underway. To make all this work, you need serious infrastructure, and the global cloud computing market reflects that. It was valued at $445.3 billion in 2021, and it's projected to just explode to $947.3 billion by 2026. Actually, 2026 is widely viewed by analysts as the major acceleration year for AI copilots and connected worker tech. This blending of operational technology and information technology is a huge short-term investment area, driven heavily by policies from advocates like the European Union.
And get this, it's not just happening on factory floors. A staggering 95% of healthcare companies are currently planning IoT implementations. We're already seeing surgical cobots actively assisting, not replacing, surgeons during complex procedures. And AI diagnostic copilots are presenting scan analyses for doctors to review. So Industry 5.0 is moving well beyond traditional manufacturing.
Okay, so what on earth comes next? Well, researchers at Rutgers are actually already theorizing about Industry 6.0. It's highly theoretical right now, but they hypothesize that some machines will reach true autonomy by around 2050. They're even talking about extraterrestrial manufacturing and autonomous flying factories. It sounds totally sci-fi, I know, but let's stay grounded for a minute. Most manufacturers today are honestly just finishing up their Industry 4.0 implementations, while 5.0 is just beginning. Remember the pattern. Every revolution builds on the last one. We are pouring the foundation for 5.0 today.
So I want to leave you with this question to think about. Is your company still operating in Industry 4.0, or has Industry 5.0 already reached your workplace? Hit the comments below. I really want to know what you're seeing out there. And hey, if you enjoyed this explainer and want more deep dives into the future of tech, make sure to hit like and subscribe. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next one.